This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
BooBaes.
Hi.
Hello, and welcome to
BooBaes.
BooBaes. That's right. We're your host. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we're here to talk to you about a film that I saw when I was a kid and remember liking.
Yeah, I remember this one really scared me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Especially a few of the ghosts that are quite really creative and
They are.
well done in terms of like the whole look and making it feel like they were actual ghosts, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty scary for a 2001, so
2001.
we were like 6, 7-ish.
Yeah.
Around that age frame. Yeah. And the title of the film is 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
Not 9, not 10, 11.
Thir13en Ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
13. It's like a Kesha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sam the Five is Silent. From
Yeah.
that one movie that I cannot remember.
Which one?
I don't know. It has like Vanessa Hudgens in it. And it feels like a...
I can't think. Vanessa Hudgens. Not High School Musical.
No. Her name, I'm pretty sure it was Vanessa Hudgens, and her name was Sam, but it was SA5M. Sam, the 5 is silent.
Oh, you know, that vaguely is kind of calling back to something for me, too.
Yeah.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
It was like something about like rock or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see her character, like in my mind. I see it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna bother me. We'll look it up later. But 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
Scared me
the
as a kid.
2001 remake, not the original.
Yeah,
is
because there
what
is
we're-
a 1960 one
Yes. Apparently. I didn't know that before looking it up
I didn't either.
and was like, oh,
I didn't learn until just this morning.
just right now.
Well, and like you just said too a while ago, pre-podcast, this whenever I search up 13 Ghosts, like I don't get anything about an original, like on the streaming services and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's all just this one. So
Exactly.
I wonder like where I could even find it. We'll have to look for it later
Yeah.
and
see where
compare
it
and
is.
contrast.
I
but
wonder if
yeah.
Shudder would have it. Shudder has a lot
Possibly.
of older movies.
Shout out to Shudder.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that sponsorship. But yeah, it's I guess you would say a supernatural horror film directed by Steve Beck, and it's his directorial debut, Mr. Steve Beck. A few of his other movies would include Ghost Ship, The Hunt for Red October, The Abyss, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He was a part of the visual effects for that.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Starring Matthew Lillard and Tony...
Bennett?
No, Tony Bennett.
I know,
bless you,
R.I.P.
just died.
Excuse me for that sneeze. Wow.
But Tony Shalhoub?
Tony Shalhoub. Oh, yeah, the dude from Monk.
Yes,
Yes.
Monk, and also
A lot of other
Men in
things.
Black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
He plays the
played
alien with the head that always
With
gets
the
blown
head
off.
gets blown off, and it
Mhm.
comes back smaller.
And he got a peewee size voice.
Yeah, that's what I recognized him from. I never watched Monk.
I've actually never seen an episode of Monk. I just, for some reason, have
Know that he's from it.
very much associate him with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kathy, played by... Who is Kathy played by?
I know her name. Shannon something, I think. Shannon Elizabeth. Yeah.
Shannon
She's got 2
Elizabeth.
first names.
That's silly. She's been in other things as well.
Oh, yeah. She was in Scary Movie.
Yes,
She
that's
was,
right. That's where I recognize her from.
She was in a lot of things back in like the early 2000s, like American Pie, Tomcats, Love Actually.
Love Actually.
And then she's, after all of that, kind of, she got into like reality TV. I remember she was on like one of those, like Celebrity Big Brother type of situations. And so she did that. And she's like a poker player. Like those people who you
she
like
plays poker
like
now.
like you see those people on TV and they're like competitive poker playing.
That's
Have you ever
what
seen
she
that?
does?
Yeah, she does that.
Well, that's cool. Good for
Mhm.
her. That's awesome.
She's from Houston, Texas, actually, as well. I didn't know
Hmm.
that. Just learned that right now. And we also have ourselves Alec Roberts, F. Murray Abraham, and the debut of Raw Digga, which was Maggie. She's actually like a professional rapper.
Oh.
Her song was the credits song was her rap. Was her.
That makes sense. I thought it was a little odd.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what does this song have to do with
the movie? Yeah.
Other than it like saying stuff about ghosts and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But I was just like,
It's
okay,
her song.
2001, you do you.
But hey, that's very early 2000s. Everything was kind of going into like the more like urban and ethnic and hip hop, coming off the 90s and all that.
Yeah.
As opposed to
sure.
the bubblegum pop and stuff. But yeah. So do you want to jump right into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We open with a big ol' like impound lot, basically, with like eerie sounds, and then we get the title card. It just kind of comes through like
very fast.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes into the movie, whatever.
Yeah, maybe even
less
faster.
than that. Yeah.
It just has like little like shining lights basically coming from it. Very simple.
Yeah.
Good. I mean,
you
don't cut dry.
You don't think about it a lot.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just so.
There it is. This is the movie. This is what you get.
Hopefully, you know what you are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so and then we have these trucks busting through a fence and
big ass
a whole
truck.
a barrage of trucks coming in, folled by was it like a T-Mobile or a T? What are those old cars?
Like a Model T.
A Model T. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
of,
it's
but
just
like
one of those old school
fancy
kind of station wagon-esque cars.
Yeah, look something that like Dracula would walk out of maybe.
Yeah. Borderline looked like a hearse kind of thing. Yeah. One of those Model Ts were a little more open.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like as they're all pulling up, we see all these people, get out of the trucks, and then they start to kind of set up. They're doing something.
Yeah, they're setting up for something. We don't know what, and they're all being very quick about it. They're like, "We don't have much time. Go." And so everyone's rushing to get everything set up, and then that's when that Model T-esque looking car rolls up, and we get Matthew Lillard coming out of it, as well as our main, like, kind of
villain, I guess.
Villain, yeah, Cyrus. And Matthew Lillard's name, I didn't catch it till way later in the film, is Dennis. I call him Matthew for like half of my notes until he like finally comes in and says
house.
like, "I'm Dennis blah blah blah," because like his name tag said Ben or something, and I was like, I'm not gonna believe that that's his name, like, because clearly he's not an electricity guy.
He was faking it. I also in my notes too, he was Matthew for a while, but Dennis and Mr. Cyrus walk out of the vehicle, and you can tell that Dennis is like already kind of like he's
like convulsing.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Almost, and it seems like he's in like tremendous amounts of pain.
Yeah, like crippling body pain.
Yeah, he's like his whole body is like clenching, and it's just it's seizing, which is how he describes it later. Like he says he like basically goes into seizures, so it's like low key seizing.
And then
that was hard to say.
Yeah, right. It's like a tongue twister.
Seizing.
Sally seizes by the seashore. No, it was my God, 10 times. And so Mr. Dillard is getting these flashes of visions while this happens as well. So right off the bat, we learn that he's a medium. In a
some
sense.
sort of psychic.
Yeah, and can see ghosts and stuff. And he wants to take some pills, and it's the way that Cyrus like knocks them the fuck out of his hands. And he's like, "I need you clear-minded for this.
I need you clear-headed." Blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
But then basically he gets to work, and he puts his psychic abilities seem to be through touch. Like enacted and stuff by touch, And so he is touching the ground and then like gets all these flashes. We get flashes with him of everything. And he was like, 9 victims you said were here. There's over 40.
And then that's whenever Cyrus is like, it was 9 when he was alive and he had a little fun after.
Yeah.
Basically, he killed a few more.
Basically, there's that many more. So what, 31 more victims he killed after his death?
That's even more wild because it's like 31 as opposed to 9.
Yeah, 9 in his life is like it's
Child's play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets to death and he's killing lots of people.
Having the time of his life. And they're calling him the Breaker, right? Right now, did I not hear? I think I heard Dennis say that. Like, where's the Breaker?
Something like that.
And I was thinking they were referencing to the ghost as the Breaker. But then later on, we figure out that his name's the Juggernaut.
He's the Juggernaut, yeah.
I
don't know what.
Did you catch that at all? No. Okay, maybe I made that up, or I just heard someone else talking about Breaker, and I
later
took that
on
as
he's looking for the Breakers to get down.
Yeah, but that's in the house. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, my bad. Yeah. All that's happening, and then they're like, bring in the cube.
The cube.
Yeah.
So basically, this giant ass glass cube. It looks like the glass elevator from Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, it does. Doesn't
comes
it?
in, and it's getting lowered down via like crane, and it is there, I guess, to kind of ghost bust this situation, capture this ghost. Instead of a little backpack, it's a. Well, they had a little cube too.
It looked like
but this is a big cube. It's like an elevator size.
It literally looks like an elevator, and even the way it opens up and stuff. And obviously, it's to keep the ghost in there. But after that, we definitely get Dennis kind of being like, I don't remember, but what was he saying? He was trying to be like, I don't want to do this anymore or something like that. Was that happening already?
Yeah.
Because then he tries to touch Cyrus, and he's like, just do your job, and he's like, don't be too curious.
Yeah. And
because he's asking more about the ghost, I think, and like asking, I think,
like, what exactly is this?
What are we doing? Yeah.
And there's a lot of dialogue, in this film. It's pretty wordy.
I found myself needing to take a lot of notes for this film because like things would happen, and I'd be like, oh, I gotta write that down.
I had to pause
write that down.
a lot because I was like, I can't write all this as quickly as it's happening. And so
because it moves pretty fast. It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it moves really quickly. They really pack in up to the last second.
Literally how it ends, and I was like, oh, okay, we're done.
Okay, yeah.
It gave very like a TV movie. I feel like, because then it would just like, and then cut to commercial or the next thing or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then we have Dennis almost getting hit by that car falling, right?
Yeah. He's getting basically at this point. At some point, there was like the mention of a 13th ghost.
That's right.
I think Dana.
By Damon.
Damon
and Kalina.
Or Kalina. Yeah. Sorry, I combined their names.
Yeah. You're good.
But
because because I guess they were the ones. I'm assuming they're the ones that were there already and had like all those flares lit, right? Okay, cool.
Because Kalina seemed to have a fascination with flares.
That's true.
So they were already there, and they were like, "You didn't tell him about the 13th ghost." And Dennis was like, "What? What the Wicca? What? You told me about 12." And he was like, "Yes, 12 plus one more."
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And he was like, "What?" And then
because he's trying to be like, "I'm done after this job."
Yeah. And then he also promises him a bonus as well, which a big bonus for finishing out this job at least too.
Yeah.
But then they say, "Bring out the bait." And that's when they bring out this truck full of blood, just spraying it everywhere.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking body pieces too, or body parts, or maybe they threw those out because whenever I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, some cars start to fall over. Did you notice that there were body pieces already on the floor, on the ground?
No, maybe I just thought that they were ones from already the havoc that was ensuing.
Okay.
But
because that was the first thing that kind of started it, and then people started running and being like, so I don't know, but yes, all the blood is getting sprayed everywhere. I could have also been
taking notes at that moment.
Because it's very fast. No, it was like a blink and you'll miss it. Yeah. And because Robert watched it with me too, and he was like, "Why are there already body parts there?" And I'm like, "I don't know, babe."
Maybe it's a mess up too.
I'm like, "Babe, you're asking too many questions."
Someone got the scenes out of order.
We're for real,
Put the-
maybe in the editing.
Put
Put it
in the
before it was
wrong
supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yes. And even Dennis is like, "Wait, we've never needed bait before. Like, what is this? Like, why? What's going on?"
And then basically shit just starts hitting the fan.
Mhm,
All these cars start falling over.
mhm.
People are getting like sucked into the cars. Their backs
Yeah.
like breaking.
Oh, because also
was cool.
Cyrus started playing that like saying that incantation, very
Yeah.
like Evil Dead sounding
Mhm.
Latin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Um,
did remind me of Evil Dead a bit with
Even-
that bit.
And even whenever we were getting like POVs of like from the ghosts, it looked like very
Yeah.
Evil Dead.
Yeah. It was very 2001 of them
Mm-hmm.
to do those shots, but yes, it did also remind me of that as well.
And so yeah, like you said, everything's going and popping off, and people are dying, and doesn't look too great for everybody there in the mix. And eventually, we have just the Juggernaut ghost guy killing them, and then chasing one of the employees people into the elevator cube thing, and it gets pretty violent in there. Because it closes after them immediately, and he just starts fucking him up.
Yep. And Dennis is like, put him down.
Yeah.
But this guy's already dead.
It's like, what can you do at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to release the ghost again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, I guess that guy's got to stay in there.
But also kind of like bad on that guy's part, because like, why were we not watching where we were running?
Yeah.
I get that
Because
the ghost is
he even hopped up.
yeah.
He hopped
To
up.
like get through that.
Yeah.
And then boing.
Or
hits
maybe
the
that
glass.
was his job.
Maybe
Maybe
unknowingly.
he was meant to lure him
He
in.
was the bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
At first I thought they intended Dennis to be the bait.
Mm.
Whenever, because he was like, time to release the bait.
Mhm.
And then the truck started coming, and I was like, is it going to drive him into the place where he needs to be?
Yeah, like
And then-
sequestering.
And just getting him, trapping him off, and putting him basically right next to the cube to where he was going to be the bait.
I could see
but-
that happening, but it's not his time yet.
No.
Not just yet.
Not yet.
Unfortunately, it was the other guy's time.
Yeah.
And
He did.
we also have Miss Kalina shouting from afar, and she's like, "Someone please help me, he's dying." And we have Dennis running up to her and him, to her, and she's with Damon, and Damon is like very fatally wounded.
Yeah.
He's dying.
And we
There's
see
nothing they can
Cyrus
do for him.
dead.
Yeah, and then
Or
Dennis
so
sees
we
him dead.
think.
Yeah. Oh, so we think. There's a big question mark over that. But yeah, all things alluding to him being dead. And then we get kind of a cut and segue to a whole different scene. We have a very happy,
wholesome.
the way
family
she
scene.
was like, "I love you, brother. You're the best, brother." I was like, "This is so fake."
Yeah.
Like siblings do not act like that,
They were punching each other in the face.
especially
would've
with
been
that
more
big of an
believable.
age gap,
Yeah.
like a teenager and like
Get
an
away,
8-year-old.
you brat.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. But yeah, and then we got mom being like, "Oh, look at them, they're perfect," and then dad being like, "Yeah, we are." And it's
Yeah.
really setting up the scene of like there was a happy family, and then it's kind of I appreciate what they did with like the panning of the room,
Yeah.
and then kind of giving us this audio of kind of their story without it taking like a whole another 30 minutes of the film.
to show all of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because as it's panning the room, you slowly hear it changing from the sweet I love yous to a fire alarm going off. And both the mom and dad, so Jean and Arthur,
Mm-hmm.
respectively, freaking out about the fire and saying, get the children, get the children.
Yeah.
And Jean goes off to find the kids, but I guess they were, I don't know.
They got separated
they
at
were
some
somewhere.
point.
And Jean gets trapped in the house while
Mhm.
Arthur and the kids make it out. And basically the fireman's like, you can't go back in there. You really get quite a bit of story just in this slow panning of the room.
Literally like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you slowly see the room turn to like dingier. And as it makes its way back to Arthur sitting in his new chair, he's sitting up against the window just as he was with Jean when she was outside, like trimming the rose bushes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see him, and then with a burnt picture of Jean, and you basically hear that, like, sorry, sir, she's not going to make it. That Jean, like, they got her out in time, and she was alive, but her wounds prove to be fatal. And so Jean ends up dying, and now we've got a family without a mother.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
things
sad.
have clearly not been going well for them.
Yeah. You can tell that the loss of the mom has definitely affected the home. Like you said, the house even looks dingier, dirtier. It's not been kept up, or not. Well, it's not even the same house. My bad. But like this new apartment that they're in, I guess, and then we have Kathy coming in to try to get her dad and being like, hey, like it's the first day of class. You don't want to be late. So you can see that she's in the kitchen. It seems like she's taking over kind of like the responsibilities of like cooking and stuff, and probably like taking care of Bobby because her mom's dead and her dad is he seems depressed and like he probably
a little absentee father right now.
Very much so. Which I mean, like
there, but not mentally there.
Yeah, which I mean, like it's understandable.
Yeah, he just lost his spouse,
his love of his life. And it kind of seemed like too, like they had like everything, like the perfect life going for them. So like for that dramatic of like a shift. And we get our nanny, Miss Maggie, and we get Bobby, our cute little brother, and he is. What is he describing? He's saying something about a beheading.
Yeah. He's
in the news. He's
taking record of the death, like records of death that happen, and he's trying to say decapitated.
There we go.
But he can't say the word.
It's like decopilated or something.
Decopilated, yeah. It is something like that. And then Maggie comes in and says decapitated and draws her finger across her throat. And so then he was like, whoa, God, Dad, some guy got decapitated behind a
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, that's what it was. I was like,
and I love how Dad's just like, I love Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. He doesn't even like flinch at the decapitation part. Just, he wasn't, I feel like he wasn't listening.
Yeah. And we also get him getting on to Kathy, the daughter, because he's like, you should let, Maggie cook. That's what we're paying her for. And she's like, have you tasted Maggie's cooking? So we get kind of a little, like they're still, like they're not super dysfunctional, but like there's still love and they're still like, playful and kind of joke with each other and stuff. And he trips over what's his name's Bobby's scooter, right?
Scooter, yeah. Spills his coffee all over him, and this kind of.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, he was. He was like, God damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
But basically he just tells him to get the scooter out of the way and like stop recording about deaths and basically get on with his life. I like how at one point while they are at the table, Bobby goes, yeah, and she's being a real slut about it.
Yeah. About
Kathy.
That was funny. And then Maggie's like, don't call your sister a slut. I call her a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, good reinforcement there,
That's
Maggie.
Funny. Because then she's like, a slut is actually what
has loose sexual morals.
Yeah. But we also, and then after all of that's happening, we get a knock at the door. As Dad was trying to get everybody, to leave for the day, and he's like, "Oh man, that must be the lawyer. I forgot they were coming."
Yeah.
And then we open the door, and we have our blue-eyed, sketch-looking lawyer. This guy also has been in a lot of things, but I don't know his name or like what I've seen him in before. I just know that I've seen his face before. The lawyer?
J.R. Byrne.
Oh, okay.
Bourne.
I don't know.
He played Benjamin Moss.
Mr. Moss is here to talk with the family because Cyrus left them, I guess, what do you call, or is that a will? Left them in their will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in Teen Wolf.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
And the 100.
The Teen Wolf. Yes, he was the dad in Teen Wolf. I'm like, it's all coming back to me. That's what I've seen him from.
Mayans MC. I don't know.
What was the thing after Teen Wolf you said?
The 100.
I watched that too. I'm trying to think who he was. Anyways, yeah, he is there to speak with them because of all of that, and so he brings in whatchamacallit, it's like a DVD player or a laptop, and also too, whenever they're playing this on like the laptop or whatever it is, do they not notice that the background of the video, it's like demonic and like got like beasts and like it looks very like cultish. Cult. Yeah,
it does. And once they get to the house too, whenever they're like, "Oh, this is so cool," I'm like, No, this is weird as fuck.
All the like scriptures on the fucking walls.
Yeah. The moment I saw Latin written on engraved in the walls anywhere, I would be like, this place cursed. Getting the fuck out of here right now. Yeah. Because that's not a good sign. Never. No,
that's not just aesthetics. That's like there's something going on.
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Very scary. But yeah, basically we find out through this little DVD compilation video that Cyrus is gifting them a house.
With a cool ass key.
It's like this like fucking massive key, like Kingdom Hearts kind of massive key.
Oh, I see that. I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, it's a good game. But yeah, and we find out that it's in Willow Grove, which it's only a few hours drive up the road, and there's no neighbors for miles because why would there be? That would be too convenient.
Yeah, of course. He wants them to be secluded. And also because like a big old fucking glass house, also that. Like just the glass house in itself. Like if I were to be like, oh, you were gifted a house, and then I get there and I'm like, it's a fucking glass house.
I would not want that.
Yeah,
I love how whenever they get there too, Maggie's like, Miss Maggie does not do windows.
Yeah, for real. Do not. Miss Maggie, no. She's good for jokes and a good time.
Yeah.
She's like, give me a margarita. That's what I'm here for. And so yes, all of that's happening. We learn. I love how also too it's really like this movie, at least at this point, there's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of like funny banter between the family. And I guess even through the whole movie, especially with Maggie and like the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, we got all this going on, and I guess basically we'll just take it to we're going to the place to go take them to the house, like you said.
They're in the car on the way there, and Arthur says, things are starting to get better. And I was like, yeah,
dun,
for
dun,
now,
dun, yeah.
Bitch. Like, you just cursed yourself. Did you know you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee? I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned the bottle around to actually see what's inside. When I did, I found out many of my favorite creamers contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, dipotassium phosphate, and artificial flavors. Laird Superfood all started when big wave surfer Laird Hamilton needed morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. He couldn't find anything in the market that met his ingredient standards, so made himself the ultimate plant-based creamer. Laird Superfood started and launched its first product, Original Superfood Creamer, in 2015. Laird Superfoods contain no artificial flavors, colors, or additives, and no sugars from highly refined corn syrup. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. All Laird products are also made of all-natural whole food ingredients, and they are crafted from the highest quality all-natural real food ingredients. Are you ready to feel more energized, focused, and supported? Go to lairdsuperfood.com and add nourishing plant-based foods to fuel you from sunrise to sunset. Use our promo code BOO at checkout to save 15% off your purchase today.
I love smoothies, but I don't love smoothie bar prices. With my BlendJet 2 portable blender, I can make smoothie bar quality beverages for a fraction of the price. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. There are also over 30 plus colors to choose from. I myself chose black because it matches the color of my soul. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code BOO12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to this quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code BOO12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
But we get up to the house and we see that someone's already there. I thought they were in the house already. I couldn't tell at first, but we get outside and it's we see that it's Dennis
pretending to be Ben,
and he's in a little
like an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah, because he's a light technician.
Prison, but yes.
But apparently he's a technician.
Yeah, and it's the way that he's like shining the light and being obnoxious to the lawyer and like, I need to get in here.
Yeah, shining it right in his face.
Oh yeah, he knows what he was doing.
I would have been pissed.
But also I guess too, to like, maybe he didn't know if the lawyer knew what he looked like, and so maybe he was trying to like obstruct his like visuals of himself. And also the lawyer looked like a vampire because of his blue eyes. And I think right before all that was happening to Kalina was getting ready, right? We get one little like literally 10-second clip of like, we see Kalina's like packing her bag and getting ready for something. So we know she's gonna come later into the film, I guess. But yeah, they're there, and
it was
Arthur,
such a quick blip, like I honestly forgot it happened.
Blink and miss it. That's a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
Arthur is like, you know what? He's like, you can come in. It's okay, because Dennis/Ben is like, my boss. I've only been here for 3 weeks on my job. Like, cut me slack. Like, let me do my job. And so that's whenever we start to put in that big old funky key into the keyhole, and it's basically
got this huge like eccentric lock.
Yeah,
it lets him in. It's like it's some like tomb shit.
Yeah,
like,
very much
feels
so.
like it's unlocking like
it's
booby
very
traps.
It's very elaborate. Almost feels a little like Guillermo del Toro in a bit. And it's basically like, and it's not even just like the door. They're basically starting an engine to like an entire machine. And so as they enter in through the door, and of course, like, I mean, even I would be amazed at like walking through something like that. It's pretty cool. I wouldn't want to live in it, but like, I'd be like, oh, this is really like dumbfounding. But it essentially kind of looks like a clock in a way, the way it has its gears.
Yeah,
and
it has all the cogs.
And everything's working together, getting started. And so it's kind of like the thing that's going on in the background that they don't know about. We know about it as a viewer. And right after they walk in, the doors close behind them, and they're just kind of doing their thing, looking through the house. They're noticing all the writings on the walls.
And that it's Latin. And again, would not.
Yeah, it'd be a red flag. The lawyers, kind of explaining to them the house, not a lot, but just a little bit. And then I guess that's whenever him and Dennis are having a little back and forth, and then he's like, where's the basement? I gotta go check out the breaker box. And so Dennis goes to the basement, and then that's whenever the dad tells the kids and Maggie, like, y'all stay in this room. I don't want y'all to touch anything. And I think before that too, we did have a comment from Kathy to the dad, like, hey, like, look at all this stuff, it's worth a fortune. He's like, I thought about that too.
They could sell it and get rich.
Because they're obviously on hard times.
They're saying like the house is a living work of art. Like everything within it is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, honestly, if I were gifted that house, I would put it on the market and sell it for a lot of money, because I don't want to live in it.
Yeah, because it's got glass walls.
Literally. But someone would.
That's scary. I don't want anyone looking in on me at nighttime.
Well, and also, too, I just feel like even though they were super thick, like, that shit's going to break somehow. Like, and also, do we ever get where we're at other than, like, a city? Like, do we get a state? Do we get do we live in the fucking tornado alley? Because, like, nah.
Yeah.
No.
That would just get ripped right up.
Yeah. And then if you're in it, like, just like you're dead by shards of glass.
You can't get away from. I guess you could go down to the basement. But
yeah, that's true. But then you come back up and everything's broken
on top of you.
I don't know. Maybe the glass was that strong, but I don't know.
Well, no, because it got exploded at the end.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It did. So. Which also seemed like a lot of fun to film. I bet you that was a fun day on set. I love stuff blowing up. Sometimes
they're blowing up like a miniature.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was an actual set. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's actual set.
They only get one shot.
Literally. That's it. And at this point, we have the lawyer telling dad, like, hey, I need you to come with me. We need to sign some papers so this can all be yours. And so the dad is telling them, like, please stay here. Do not touch anything, especially after Bobby was, like, almost going into the little middle circle thing in the middle of the living room.
Yeah.
Which also was like, why, if this is a house, why is there something just spinning in the middle of the fucking room?
Yeah, that seems suspicious.
And,
but
like,
it's okay. We're
a
in a horror
hazard,
movie. We're going to ignore every
a
single
safety
red
hazard.
flag.
Yeah. But of course, in good old fashion, when he and the lawyer leave, they do not listen, and
They all run off.
Bobby and Maggie run off together, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bobby and Maggie are together, and Kathy goes off to
search for her room.
Yeah, basically.
Which is always like, I see that in movies, when, like, especially their big families and they move into big houses and all the kids are off and they're like, we're gonna go pick our room. Like, I've always wanted that experience.
To go pick a room.
It just seems so exciting.
I got to do it in a trailer once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
there
so
was
cool.
only 2 rooms to pick from. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I've never had, like, growing up, like, my room was picked for me, I guess. So, like,
I think mine was technically picked for me too. I think in the end they were like, well, your brothers are sharing a room, so they should get the bigger room, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're by yourself, so you get
the smaller one. Yeah.
Or maybe I got the bigger one 'cause I was older. No, I think they're about the same size.
Yeah. But it makes sense, though, like, girl by herself and then put the boys together.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how most families do it. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a really fun experience. But, like, it will never happen because I'm not even meaning, like, I just want myself to go into, like, a 2 or 3 bedroom house. Like, I want to be in a family of 13.
So you're just thinking of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Literally, I want that. That's the experience I want.
Was that Cheaper by the Dozen?
Cheaper by the Dozen, yeah.
1 or was that 2?
I don't know, because they do move into a house, right?
Oh,
and then
the
that
2
little boy
is
gets
on
the
the lake.
You're right. It's the first one.
That was
yeah.
There was a vacation home.
Because in the first one, it's the whole storyline is like the kids don't want to move, right, or something like that, and they're being rebellious because of it, or they just moved and they're being rebellious. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Anyways.
have back to the fucking movie. The kids are looking around. Mr. Arthur and what's the lawyer's name again? Ben. They are
Mr. Moss.
Mr. Moss.
Shout out to Mr. Moss, who I know in real life.
Oh,
Kenneth.
Kenny. Kenny? Who's that?
And Sarah. You met him at my birthday.
Oh no. I'm freaking out.
Kenny in the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Of course.
So a listener and friend.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
Shout out.
But yeah, and they're off signing the paperwork, and then Matthew or Dennis is in the basement, and he's looking for money.
Yeah, because he thinks, I guess, Cyrus would have left the money down there, which I guess he did, but not for him. And he ends up finding out that there are ghosts that are locked up down here in the basement, the ghost that he helped to capture.
Yep. And then we're back up at the top of the place with Ben and Arthur, and basically they're saying that because Arthur's like, I'm a teacher, like I'm a math teacher, I can't afford the taxes on this house. Yeah. And then that's when Ben tells him, like, well, you basically never have to worry about money again because he was really good with his finances, so you're pretty much set.
Which sounds like a big scam.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you don't ever have to worry about money again. Psh, come on.
Yeah, right.
Get out of here with that.
I don't think he was that good at his finances.
Literally. And so we do see that at this point we cut back to Maggie and Bobby in the room, and he is in what he thinks is his room, and Maggie finds a pair of those glasses, which I guess it's good to, well, I guess we're bringing it up right now. There are these glasses that you put on. They actually look really cool. And they help them see the ghosts and the spirits.
Yeah, they help them see spectral like encounters and spectral beings.
Which we saw the people wearing them in the beginning of the film, like the people who were capturing the first ghost, the Juggernaut. But she puts them on. Bobby takes them, and he sees and notices that like the Latin spells are glowing. Essentially.
Glowing, yeah. And then we're also at this point, Dennis comes up, he runs up, and he is saying, basically, you need to get the fuck out of this house because he just encountered all those ghosts. And he was like, you need to get your kids and family out of here. I'll explain once we're out. He's trying to, like, save them.
And he's like, we got to leave now.
And then basically they're like, no, give us a fucking explanation.
Yeah.
And he's like, I used to hunt wraiths and blah, 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 and saying, like, all these official terminology for ghosts. And he goes, ghost. I used to hunt ghosts with Cyrus. And that's when
sounds like a loon.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Dennis.
Yeah, and then especially because Ben is like, once old rich person dies, like all the nuts come out, and he's like, this guy has been harassing my office for like weeks now, so don't listen to him.
He owes him money, and
which Cyrus did.
Yeah,
a lot of money apparently.
Supposed to give him a big raise or a big bonus for this, and but then Cyrus died conveniently.
Yeah. And so obviously it's kind of heated at the moment. And then Dennis starts glitching just a little bit. He has this little seizing moment as he's like in the emotional state of everything going on, I guess.
Yeah.
And then because I guess Arthur is so close to him, I don't know. Or just the house. He's in a house full of ghosts.
Yeah, I think it's just triggering him.
He's overstimulated probably.
Arthur's trying to help Dennis, but he's making it way worse because it's activated by touch. Yeah. And so he's touching him, and Dennis is getting flashes of Arthur's whole life and stuff like that.
And the death of Jean.
Yeah.
And he's like drooling on the floor. He's telling him not to touch him. We notice that the lawyer walked off. He's no longer present in the room.
Yeah.
And we see that he makes his way to the basement with the glasses on. So we know that the lawyer knows what's up. Like he's been in on it in some way. And so he's talking to the ghost as he's passing by. He's kind of mocking
making
them.
Fun of them.
Yeah. And he then makes his way to this one room where he finds a suitcase, a thing of money that when he lifts it off, it's kind of like the pedals to like a organ. Yeah. And it starts, which honestly I don't know how he did not like notice all of that going on. But I guess he was so money oriented that he just was seeing green, and it starts basically
setting
the process.
It
was setting off all the chains that will eventually lead to the rest of this movie. And so the walls start shifting and changing, and it's like instead of glass panels, there are these steel panels that come out.
Yeah, there's still panels coming out on the house. It almost looks like a puzzle, kind of the way that they're shaped. It's like Tetris.
Yeah.
You've got like the long L ones, and then you've got some straight ones, and
just
little
some square ones.
Squares,
and,
all coming up. And that's when everything starts closing up, and then the weird circular thing in the middle of the house just stops. And it's like, uh-oh.
And then all the little rings that were around it starts one like individually, right?
Yeah, I think so.
One
and
at a
then
time.
It ends up opening a door to the I call her the Boobie Ghost.
I call her Titty Ghost.
Titty Ghost. Okay, there you
but
go.
But Boobie Ghost is good because we're BooBaes.
Yeah.
Boobie Ghost.
BooBae Ghost.
Yeah, I like that.
Who later on we find out is the angry princess.
She is released, yes. And we see that.
And now he's taking back everything he said to her.
Oh, yeah.
Because he like walked by her and was like, nice tits. Nice tits, bitch.
And then he was like, oh, why, did he say like, why you're so sad or why that's like bad representation? Yeah. And so she is walking towards him and he's walking back because he obviously doesn't want to, get sliced by her and her knife. And as he's walking back, unfortunately, one of these glass doors like close, and it literally closes right on him, so it cuts him in half. And
this is the only scene I remembered from this movie as a kid.
Traumatizing.
Yeah, because I just remembered Andrew was like, what's it about? And I was trying to tell him, and I was like, I don't know. I just remember someone gets cut in half by a glass door that closed on him.
It's pretty sick.
And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah.
You have to watch it. You have to see it.
You have to see it for your own eyes.
It gives very much like, not the Matrix. Why was I going to say the Matrix? Like,
reminded me of Final Destination when that kid got smushed by the glass.
Yeah.
And then someone else got cut in half, right? Where his head, like...
Rory. His name was Rory.
Rory,
yeah,
that's
by
right.
those wires. And then I was thinking of as well, Resident Evil. That's what I was trying to think of. Whenever those lasers cut the people in half and they slowly start falling into pieces like cubes. But they look like Jello. Human Jello
cubes.
Yeah. Scrumptious. And so
Raggy.
literally cut in half, and it's pretty cool. Good visual effects. I remember, yes, like you said, when I was younger too, this scene stuck with me and it creeped me out. And I like how they like did it too, where like just the first half slumps down,
Yeah,
and
you
then
can see his brain and everything.
yeah, and then
So
the second
cool.
half slumps down a little bit, and they meet perfectly
At the bottom.
like the symmetric coolness of it.
the symmetry.
There you go, the symmetry of it. I really like that.
Yeah.
But
it was
yes,
nice.
he is dead. The suit is killed, no longer alive.
I like how his tie fell off too.
Oh yeah, like all in pieces. The tie,
Mhm.
the little
glasses.
is very aesthetically cool. Like
Yeah.
He
I liked
really
it.
thought about that. He was like, I feel like this was like a proud moment for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would be proud
Yeah.
if I made, because even like just
It looks
for
real.
being 2001, yeah, it looks pretty real.
Mm-hmm.
Like good effects
Mm-hmm.
were used.
And
So they did a good job.
kudos to y'all guys. Kudos to the visual effects department.
Unlike all the fun shaky camera angles.
Mm.
I mean,
Through the movie?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just very fitting for the times.
Yeah. And so we're back upstairs and we are looking for the kids and Maggie, and which is Arthur and Dennis. And then we cut to Miss Kathy in the restroom.
Yeah,
She's
because Booby Ghost took notice of Arthur yelling upstairs around for Bobby
Yeah.
and Kathy and them. So Booby Ghost starts heading upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then we're in the bathroom with Kathy. She put on cologne or perfume just randomly, like just put it on. She didn't even really smell it.
No.
And I was like, bitch, what
You
if
don't know
you
what
hate
that
that
is.
scent?
Well, she was a lot of like the like Neutrogena commercial that was happening for like
Yeah.
2 minutes, like,
She was washing her face.
and like, but the smile and like, yeah. It was
yeah.
a little
No one washes their face like that.
No, nobody.
And they're always like, ugh,
Yeah.
get the water out of my eyes.
I don't understand how those commercials always made it look like as well, like so beautiful and like,
You would make such a fucking mess in the bathroom.
yes, literally every time I would wash my face, like water would be drip like running
Down
down
my
this, and then
elbows.
it's like puddled all over the floor, the counter.
I put a towel there.
Mm-hmm.
to keep it from,
Smart lady
yeah.
from pulling off.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, she is doing all these things, and BooBaes Ghost is watching her and kind of like almost like emulating her a little bit when she looks in the mirror.
Yeah. And I love the cool
Mhm.
transition shot through the glasses that we get,
Oh,
because the
yeah.
glasses are sitting there on like this little pedestal, and
Because she doesn't put them on. They're
yeah,
just
she doesn't
there.
put them on.
But we get
the camera goes through it,
Mm-hmm.
and we can see that the bathroom's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And then it just basically goes through, and we're seeing everything through the lens of the glasses basically. And yeah, she is like behind her, emulating her, just kind of mimicking what she's
Mhm.
doing, like looking at herself in the mirror.
Yeah.
I liked it. And then you see the shower curtain like billow and open up, and you can assume that I guess she got into the tub.
Yeah.
And whenever Kathy went to go open it, I was expecting her to
like,
see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Or stab her like
Yeah.
Norman Bates style.
Uh-huh.
But only we can see it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me how she sits down and like starts doing her Neutrogena commercial, and basically the ghost is just looking at her like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck are you doing?
I'm taking a fucking bath.
I'm taking a bath. Can you not run more water in, please? I've got it at the right temperature. You just
Yeah.
turn the cold water on, bitch.
Yeah.
Like-
You can tell she's definitely like annoyed, kind of in awe almost. It's like teenager girl versus teenager girl almost in a way.
Like, what is this
Yeah.
person doing?
And so she's washing her face for a good while, and right when BooBaes Ghost is like about to attack her, we have Dad walking in the nick of time and is like being like, "Hey, like, come on, we gotta go." So she gets out of the room. At this point, we do see that Bobby is actually passing by the basement, and he's getting called downstairs by
Yeah.
a ghost, which
But
he
then
starts
there's
following.
One ghost that's saying, "Don't come down," and I was like, "Oh, Mama's in the house."
Yeah.
That was immediately. I
indicator.
was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
Mom's here." 'cause why would there be a nice ghost amongst all these?
For real. When we know they're all bad and like violent ghosts.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have this like back and forth between one ghost and another where it's like, come downstairs, and it's like, no, go back upstairs. And then he does end up not listening to the ghost that is telling him to go up. He goes downstairs, because he also thinks that it's either Maggie or Kathy like playing a joke on him. He's like telling them like, hey guys, like stop, come out of hiding, like this isn't funny. And so he's down there, and at this point he is oh yeah, he's down there. We see that little ghosts are like kind of glitching, walking about around him, and we cut back to I think to Arthur and Dennis talking, right? Or them talking upstairs.
Yeah, I believe so. He's basically talking about
Oh, Dennis is
containment spells, like on the glass is what the Latin is.
and he's out of his outfit. And I love how Kathy was like, "Why is he wearing a jumpsuit earlier?"
Yeah. And the dad's like, "Don't
I'll
start."
explain later. Yeah. And yeah, basically Dennis doesn't want to help out, but he's like, I just want to get out of here. But the dad's like, look, I will promise to give you and pay. No, not yet. Anyways, he's just like, I'm keeping an eye on you because I don't fucking trust you. So you're gonna have to walk around with us, okay? Because I gotta find my fucking kid.
Yeah. And basically Bobby's down in the basement. He's exploring, and ghosts are being locked left and right.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're like minutes apart.
Yeah. And Bobby's just down there exploring with the glasses on, somehow not really seeing any of them.
No.
Which was confusing to me a little bit. But then he eventually does see the ghost that was calling out to him,
The ghost squirrel.
The confined woman or whatever her name was. And Bobby then, turns tail. He
starts running,
bolts,
yeah, as a little kid would.
On his little scooter, starts scooting, and then he trips, and he like runs into the wall, a glass wall, kind of like those funhouse things that we were talking about with It Chapter 2. And he runs into it, gets knocked back, and then we get to see the torso ghost. Which was really cool because there was like this head in like saran wrap in front of him, in between his legs.
Pretty
and he's
freaky.
like, freaking out because rightly so. And then you see this like saran wrap torso, kind of, it almost looks like a mummy, but with saran wrap.
Yeah.
Just like
trying to walk on
its way over.
Hands. And so all of that's going on. And then we have back to the gang upstairs, searching for Bobby. They come to the basement after, Dennis has already told them like, hey, like there's fucking ghosts in the basement. And he's like, hey, stop. Like, what are you doing? We're not going down there. But the dad is like, look, I promise to pay you whatever Cyrus owes you if you help me to go down there and find my son. Also, the dad kept referring to Bobby as the kid. And I'm like, why do you keep calling him the kid? That's your son.
Help me find the kid.
He's like, we got to find the kid. I'm like, it's your son.
That would make sense if Dennis was referring to him that way.
Exactly.
But not you.
Not dad. But anyways, yeah, Dennis ends up obliging. He's like, oh, well, what the hell? Like, oh my God,
I'm after the money.
And so he ends up going down there with, what's his face? The dad. And then we cut to the mom making herself appear to Bobby whenever he's coming out of his like stupor, whenever he had fell.
Yeah,
right? And that kid looked as sweaty as well.
Oh,
did you notice? Yeah,
no.
he looked terrified and sweaty and sweats. But yeah, the mom is coming up. She's got like, she's in her very much like, what the IV stuff and like the hospital setting
gown,
coming towards him, and
she's half burnt.
Is she telling him anything right now or not?
Yeah, she is. She's
like, get out.
Saying, get out of the basement, go find Kathy and get upstairs. Like whatever you do, just get upstairs.
But then we see Cyrus's ghost.
Yeah, we see Cyrus's ghost, and he does something to Bobby. And we don't see Bobby again for a long time.
Yep.
Have no clue what happened to Bobby. I honestly forgot Bobby existed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though they kept being like, we got to find Bobby. I was
Him
like,
and Kathy.
Yeah, once Kathy disappeared,
Yeah.
I was like, like she's going about my business. And then I was like, oh, right, they are missing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on as well to keep you occupied. There's so many like left and right turns, because we do have that going on. Cyrus popped up, took him. And then we have Maggie and Dennis together in the basement, and they're looking, and he gives her the glasses so that way she can see the ghost, because he keeps fucking seeing the ghost, especially one called the Hammer.
Yeah, I called him Steakhead
I can see that.
for a while until I noticed he had a hammer, and then once they called him the Hammer Ghost, yeah.
And so she is now the first one who can see the ghost out of all of them, other than excuse me, guys, Dennis himself. And so at this point, they're walking around, and I think this is when Dennis has the vision of his death, right?
Yes, yeah. Dennis sees his own death from Steakhead Ghost, from the Hammer, and he basically just sees exactly how he's gonna die, and he's kind of like, that was weird, but just goes on.
Yeah, he's trying to basically ignore it. He's like, I'm gonna sweep that under the rug.
Pretend that didn't happen. That was
blissful
funky.
ignorance. Yeah. And then he notices that one of the caricatures on the glass, it's the marking for the jackal, and he's like, oh no, the jackal's out.
Yeah.
This is the what do you describe him as? The Charles Manson of Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get, which again I didn't realize that this was the jackal yet.
Okay.
So I called her Cagehead.
Yeah.
But Kathy is getting attacked by the jackal.
Yeah.
At this point, she puts the glasses on, and all of a sudden the jackal's right in front of her, and then just starts ripping her up. And of course her shirt gets ripped open, because why not?
Yeah.
It's a horror film, so
We
it
gotta
has
see
to.
boobies, bras.
She's getting yanked up to the ceiling. She's getting clawed to death, basically. And then Dad comes in and it's pulling on her, and then they're basically playing tug of war.
Yeah, poor girl.
With her. Yeah, the
and
jackal,
he can't even see what he's pulling.
He's just like, what is going on?
Because she's just levitating at this moment, and he feels like another force pulling him the other way. And thankfully, she ends up getting saved because Kalina pops in and throws
a
her
flare
right at the ghost, and it goes away. I guess they are allergic to flares.
I guess so. Maybe it's
maybe
light.
It's blessed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they said something in the beginning where they didn't just call them regular. They were silver something flares.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it was a silver bullet or something.
Could be. But she ends up helping, and she gives the whatchamacallit? The
glasses.
After pulling, whatever Kathy away and getting away from the jackal as much as they could, he tells him to put on the glasses, and he now sees what they are all seeing. And he's like, what the fuck is that?
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Kalina's now here, and it was how long has she been in there?
Yeah.
That was suspicious.
Especially because they're like, who the hell are you? And then she has to explain, I free trap souls.
She's here to set all of them free, basically.
And they're talking for a good while, and this is when he's looking at the ghosts and stuff, and then she ends up showing him a book called the Archeon or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the book's name, but basically she goes on to explain that Cyrus built the Basilius device, a device designed by the devil and powered by the dead.
Yeah, and the guy who wrote this book wrote it under demonic possession.
Yeah, he was possessed as it was happening. And then also, while all that's happening, Dennis and Maggie are encountering the first son, the Arrowhead ghost. But then, the boob ghost also comes up again. She almost gets one of them. I don't remember who, but
was it Maggie?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
Maggie.
The door closes, and they saving them.
And then at this point, doesn't Dennis and Maggie get separated, right? Yeah, because Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis and Maggie get split up.
Yeah, and I guess right before that, that's whenever Kalina and Arthur were finishing up their conversation. They're like, okay, we got to leave out of here. And he's like, well, she's like, if you want to leave, you got to help me first. And then they're like, let's, get Kathy and go. And Kathy's fucking missing, which honestly, how did they not notice that?
Kathy got taken.
Yeah, because she was right there next to them.
She was hugging her dad.
Yeah, literally.
And all of a sudden she's gone.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue? I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, and brain fog. But luckily, there's a solution. Cure! Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes and glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt, and is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO, making it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions or preferences. The packets are convenient and easy to use. Just mix with water and drink. They're perfect for on the go, travel, or anytime you need a quick and effective hydration boost. Hydration is more than just drinking water. That's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. Lauren founded Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mixed to make hydrating easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they use only the highest quality plant-based ingredients and avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. Ready to combat dehydration? Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use code BOO for 20% off your order.
Are you tired of the same old boring puzzles? Mix things up with Wongo puzzles. Each puzzle is a custom design with intricate patterns and whimsical shapes that will keep you engaged for hours. Plus, their eco-friendly materials and commitment to sustainability make Wongo puzzles a guilt-free way to unwind. Wongo puzzles are 100% wooden puzzles, meaning they'll last forever. Each piece is hand-drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun, whimsy pieces as you work through it. They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. With stunning design and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. So what are you waiting for? Go to wongopuzzles.com and pick your puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code BOO and get 10% off of your order. This is the most fun you've had with the puzzle guaranteed or your money back. Go to Wongo, WONGO, puzzles.com and use the code BOO to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. Wongo.
But yes, we were back with Maggie and Dennis, and then they get separated. He's trapped behind those glass
in the
walls,
cell
right?
with the baseball bat guy who is the something prince.
Yeah, he is the
I have it written down later.
the Torn Prince.
Torn Prince, yeah.
We're about to get to them, so we can bring them up. But yeah,
I paused my movie so many times to get all of these names.
It's the first. Do you want to go ahead and say it? Or
No.
Okay.
We can say it when we get to it.
But yeah. And he's trapped. He's getting attacked. This is whenever we also know that Kalina told Arthur that we need to get to the library because it is protected by the most spells and whatever.
Yeah.
Containment spells. And we see that also even more of the ghosts are like getting released as well. So it's kind of just turning into pandemonium at this point.
Yeah.
And then we get the dad being attacked by the jackal. Right? Yeah, he starts getting attacked. And am I getting ahead of myself?
I think so.
Okay, what happens before then?
Well, Dennis somehow gets out.
Yeah.
And Maggie and them are upstairs, yeah. And she's like, can I rely on you not to get me killed? And he's like, I guarantee nothing. Kalina climbs up to the library, and then we see we're seeing the weird old infant and giant baby ghost that's covered in vomit. And that's who Maggie and Dennis are encountering at this moment.
Gotcha.
And then Steakhead, the hammer. The hammer's getting out, and Arthur gets into the library and just narrowly avoids him. So he almost gets attacked by the hammer.
That my notes, I got it mixed up. That's why I was throwing myself off. I was ahead, but then also it wasn't.
He does later get attacked by the jackal, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's not right now. This is the hammer.
Gets just like
narrowly
barely gets away from the hammer. And then we're basically getting different shots of the house with like eerie music and like cackles and things throughout.
It's happened a lot of times through the film.
And then yes, Arthur does get attacked by the jackal at that point.
Got it.
So maybe it was just you didn't write down about
Did I?
Steakhead, the
Maybe.
hammer. Who knows?
lots happening. But and then we get to the library after that attack, right? Because we're in the library, and Kalina is very much like attacking Dennis, and Dennis is, arguing back with her.
Capturing souls.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
And Arthur is sticking up for Dennis a bit, but then that's whenever she's like, "You didn't even tell him, did you?" And
you
then
didn't tell him about the fourth ghost.
The fourth ghost, and the fourth ghost. Who is the fourth ghost?
It's Jean, because she says St. Luke's Hospital 6 months ago, and he was like,
I love
what?
I love Maggie in the background. You could see her like realization. She's like, it's so funny to me. She's like, that's his wife.
That's his wife.
Yeah. And so she's very much, we figure out like Jean is the fourth ghost. She's was
trapped in the house,
and she was handpicked by, like, all these ghosts were handpicked by Cyrus. Dennis at that point in the past didn't know that, like, she had a whole husband and a life and all this. He didn't know who Arthur was. But yeah, all this is happening, and that's whenever we get Miss Kalina explaining even further about what was needed for this machine that it was built, and
that this house is a machine. It's not just a normal house.
Yeah.
But its entire being is part of this mechanism. And she's explaining about the spirits.
And this is when we get the list off of all of them.
The firstborn son, the torso, the bound woman, the withered lover, who is Jean, the torn prince, the angry princess, the pilgrimess, who we only get to see the pilgrimess like twice.
Yeah.
Like, she just barely
has no,
like, she kind of gets in there, almost attacks Arthur at one point, I think. But he gets, like, narrowly avoids that. But the pilgrimess, the great child and the dire mother, the hammer, the sign of hell's winter, the jackal, and the juggernaut. And basically she's explaining that 12 earthbound spirits are trapped inside, that the black zodiac, which represents the different ghosts, Cyrus needed to catch, and that was all of them. They were the black zodiac.
And basically with all of them together, and with a certain ritual and spell performed, a man could take control of the Ocularis Infernum. I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is essentially the eye of hell.
Latin for, yeah.
And with this, the person has the power to see, like, present, future, past, like, everything on heaven and hell. Like, essentially, it's like an all-seeing eye, basically. And if knowledge is power, the person who would be yielding this would be the most powerful person on the earth.
It reminds me of Hellraiser. Like, the whole house is the puzzle box.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
A little bit.
Have you ever seen Alien versus Predator?
Actually, yes, I think that I have seen that one.
Yeah, the house moving and stuff gave me because they're in a tomb in Alien versus Predator, and like the tomb is shifting on them and keeping them trapped and stuff, and separating all the crew members. And so
I have only seen it exactly one time.
Oh, okay,
so.
yeah.
And I think I've seen
the newer ones, like Prometheus and Covenant?
No, I've not seen either of those.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I've seen one of the Predator
gotcha.
movies.
Like the OGs?
I think it was the original one.
Like the Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, that's the one with him.
Yeah.
The OG,
so I've seen that one. And then the only Alien movie I think I had seen before I watched Alien was Alien versus Predator.
Gotcha.
And then, so before we covered Alien, I hadn't seen
Alien itself.
Yeah. I just knew of it.
Yeah. Well, you saw like a spin-off essentially as well.
Yeah.
So like you saw the creatures.
Yeah, I knew what
a xenomorph
looks like and stuff like that.
I want a pet xenomorph. They're so cute.
Well,
but like a miniature one, like teacups in a xenomorph. But yeah, we've got dun 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 this major like unveiling of what Cyrus's big ol' ass plan has been this whole time. And then I love how even Dennis was like, damn, I didn't know he was doing all this shit.
Yeah. And she was like, you should really pay more attention to what you're like
working for. Yeah.
And I love how Maggie in the background was like, I'm stuck in here with a bunch of crazy white people.
Yeah.
And it was just funny. But then they're going on to explain what the 13th ghost is.
Because Damon had brought it up to Dennis, and that's whenever Miss Kalina's like, there would be a 13th ghost that is essentially a failsafe, something that would kind of never happen. And it is someone who would be what was it?
It needs a sacrifice of life instead of death, a willing human sacrifice, a sacrifice of the broken heart.
There we go.
The only ghost to be created out of an act of pure love.
Mm-hmm.
And she's telling him that it would stop the process.
Mm-hmm.
But as we later find out, it's what's needed to complete the process.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
she's a liar, plants for hire.
Literally, yeah. Which honestly, whenever I was rewatching it, I didn't remember her being in on it. Honestly, I thought she was an antagonist.
I did not remember
or a
her being-
protagonist.
yeah.
I didn't remember her being in on it.
I was genuinely shocked whenever she kissed Cyrus. I was like, what?
Same. I was like, especially when she hit Maggie, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, whenever she did that, I was like,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah. But anyways,
Not that I ever liked her. She gave me sus vibes from the beginning because I was like, why is she in this house?
have you ever seen Matilda?
Yeah.
That's Miss Honey.
Mm,
That's the teacher.
really?
That's Miss Honey, who adopts her. The sweet little teacher.
Yeah, I remember who she is, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to picture her in my brain, but I can't. I guess I just need to picture Kalina.
Yeah.
But huh.
It's because yeah. But the very like vastly different characters.
yeah,
I was because it didn't hit me until like almost to the end of the movie, and I was like, oh wait a minute, that's the teacher from Matilda.
Mhm.
But yeah, all
Funny.
of this is going on, and of course because of fuck dad now hearing that, well now I might have to unalive myself, in order to save my kids. He at this point is just kind of like, let's go find these kids.
Yeah.
And so Dennis tells, and especially because Dennis is like also as well, he's like, I don't want Arthur to like kill himself. There's got to be a way. Like, let's go find your kids. So they go
They
look.
say love is the most powerful energy.
Mm-hmm. And they also take a bit. They like unhinge, or whatever. Take a big old piece of the glass off, and they're like, we're gonna take this to protect ourselves.
Yeah, and then Kalina is basically saying that she also, in the event that everything else fails, she has enough explosives to blow them back to the 15th century.
Yeah.
So they're just going to blow up the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're bringing that glass panel with them. Maggie and Kalina end up going back downstairs
Mm-hmm.
through the same glass panel that they crawled up through.
Yeah.
And then Dennis and Arthur go off to try and find the kids.
Yes.
This
is when we have Dennis and Arthur downstairs, and Dennis is being like, there's no place like home. And we do see that the girls see the lawyer split in half.
And Maggie's like, he definitely looked better.
I love her earlier too. We didn't mention it, but she made a comment. She was like, did the lawyer split? Did you ever catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He did indeed.
He literally split.
Right in two. And then we have Kalina and Miss Maggie going right to the machine's heart, I think is what I would call it, like where all the cogs are and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the same time we have the boys being attacked by the Torn Prince.
Torn Prince,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
going ham on their glass panel.
really is, but they're like trying to fight back, and they're like, let's push him back, ram him. And they are fighting back. They're doing that. We do see that Cyrus comes out, and
after Kalina knocked Maggie over the head.
Yeah. And Kalina hits Maggie, and we realize she takes the glasses off, and he's not a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
He is still alive. But it's very confusing to me that he fucking is. How many days
has he been in this makeup?
Wearing literally that makeup in the same outfit.
I mean, maybe he just put it back on once the family got there to be
that's
like
true, to look like a ghost in the way he died.
A ghost, yeah.
Oh, but okay, I'll give him that. Sure, all right.
That's what I'm gonna hope he did.
Yeah, because
otherwise
I'm like,
he's just been waiting around,
wearing this damn same clothes.
Stinky.
Yeah, I bet so.
But yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, what? I was fucking so confused because then she like lays one on Cyrus too, and I was like. Ugh.
And that's when we learned that she's been in on it.
She killed Damon at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And she even stole the spells from him.
It's so crazy too how like she seems like a really strong character, and then she goes to like, please don't be mad at me, like I did everything you asked.
Yeah,
like,
she looked like she'd been like a beaten child.
Yeah,
or dog
very
or
like
something.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She reverted to like a different person. And then same time as this is going on, we have poor fucking Dennis. Dennis is with Arthur, and this is whenever the Juggernaut comes out, right?
It's the Hammer Ghost.
Oh, the Hammer Ghost. You're right. Oh, because he gets
Hammer Ghost
double
at
teamed.
first. Yeah. He does. Dennis is protecting Arthur from the hammer. And basically because he just shoves Arthur behind the glass panel
into the corner.
Yeah. And he was like, there's only room for one of us back there, bud.
No, I feel like there could have been room for two. But
there could have been. It's a whole Rose in the Titanic situation.
Yeah.
There was room for two people on that door. And but he's like blocking him in, and the hammer starts coming up, and then just starts like beating the shit out of him, basically.
Yeah, he does.
And then that's when the Juggernaut gets unleashed, and he comes, and they're tag teaming him.
And the Juggernaut goes even more ham on him, and then breaks his fucking back up against the railing. Yeah.
Wall. Yeah.
Ooh. And you see it. The effects.
Him. Yeah.
You see his body like, yeah.
And then blood just starts coming out of his mouth, and then the Juggernaut just drops him, and he's like, "There you go, bud." Pretty rough, and it was exactly how he
envisioned
saw it earlier in the film. Yep.
Brutal. Poor guy. Because honestly, out of everybody, I think Dennis was my second favorite character. Maggie would probably have been my first.
Yeah, really. I liked Maggie a lot of the times. Like, her comedic relief was funny, but she also, there were a lot of times where her acting just wasn't believable.
I mean, I can see what you mean
Yeah.
about that. She felt out of place a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the cast. But her comedy was always
she felt like a sitcom character that was just shoved into a horror film.
I see what you mean.
And she was like
waiting for the laugh track to like happen, or like claps or cheers. Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone else was like serious. And Dennis was probably, especially at the end, whenever he's got his like little like, you know, half
redemption.
Smile on, with his redemption and stuff. And I'm like, aw. And Matthew Lillard looked pretty good in that moment, I will say.
You like
dead.
I see what you mean. And so after he dies,
as a ghost, people.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
His dead body.
Yeah. She's not a necrophiliac.
No.
And so we have
Kalina saying Arthur basically isn't going to go through with it unless he believes his kids are in jeopardy. And Cyrus needs the 13th ghost to finish the machine, basically. So he's like, well, do it.
But the kid's in danger. Jeopardy. And she's like, but they're kids. And he's like, greatness requires sacrifice. And so, he's like, get to work. Do your fucking job. And
do your fucking job, bitch.
And then he starts playing the spells. And like a PA system, and it's basically calling all the ghosts, calling all
center
ghosts
of the house.
Paging
all ghosts to the center of the house,
which they do immediately. They kind of have no control over it, and they're bound to the spells. And so at this point, Arthur does see Jean for a little bit, but then she like gets called away by the spell.
Yeah, they have a nice little moment. It was pretty sad.
Yeah,
I was like, oh damn it. But then I hate how he used the past tense. When he says, I loved you, he says, I loved you so much. And I was like, bitch, you can still love her.
After
still.
death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no. But other than that, it was a really sweet moment where they were both like, I miss you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Then we cut to Cyrus and Kalina together, and he takes the spellbook from her. And then what does he do to her?
He kills her by squishing her between two of the glass panels. Basically, it like booby traps on her, and the walls come together, and she gets
squished. You see like her head get flattened a little bit, and blood comes out. Honestly, didn't remember her dying like this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Honestly, didn't remember her dying at all. I honestly thought at the end of the movie that like she was a protagonist and like left with them for some reason. That was my memory.
I only remembered the lawyer's death. Literally, that's all I remembered.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so
I did not remember Kalina.
All of this is happening there. This is whenever the kids start coming out of the floor in the middle of the spinny spherical. If y'all have ever honestly, Lady Gaga Bad Romance, you remember that thing that she's wearing, that like sphere thing that's like that's what it reminds me of. So like think of these like oscillating like what would you call them, Caitlin?
Spheres.
But they're not.
They're like blades.
Rings, blades. Yeah, there you go. Oscillating blades that like would fuck you up if you tried
to weed whacker
cross through it. Yeah,
just
but like
going all around them
in different directions. And very fast at that.
Like a time turner.
Yes, and so Arthur sees them, he's like, oh my God. But at the same time that he sees them, Cyrus appears to him, and he has the glasses on. So he thinks he's a ghost at that point, I believe, at that still, obviously, because they all think he's dead.
Yeah.
But then, what is it? Arthur is like thinking something in his mind, and he's like recalling what has been
we're getting like Kalina.
him.
We're getting a voiceover from
Mhm.
Kalina, basically about what she said earlier about the machine and everything like that. And it, I guess, basically prompts him to take off the glasses.
Yeah, like a
Yep.
light bulb goes off.
Yeah, and so we realize Cyrus isn't dead,
Yeah.
or
To him, he
Arthur
realizes.
Cyrus isn't dead. And
He's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then he goes and he's beating him, but then
Mhm.
Cyrus gets the upper hand, and he's like telling him, this time, Arthur, you will make that leap. And he's like, I chose you and your pathetic family for this reason. Congratulations, you get to become the 13th ghost.
Literally.
Roll credits.
Yeah, and as he has what's his name pinned down, Arthur, we get to see DJ Maggie.
Yeah, I was like Maggie playing DJ on the Latin.
Yeah, she starts messing up the incantation. So then it starts like fucking up with all the ghosts being controlled. So they're now able to do have their own autonomy, I guess. Not autonomy because they have no bodies, but their own control over themselves. And they end up going, Arthur knocks over Cyrus, and then they go over to Cyrus and they start lifting him up, and we get his body thrown into the spherical
machine
magical thing.
Yeah.
Which is also, I was thinking like, nah, damn, they're throwing him like all over the kids.
Right over the kids. Yeah. I was like, oh, those poor kids are going to be like splattered in blood and stuff. Yeah. I was like, damn, kill him right over the kids. But then Dennis's ghost shows up. Yay. And this is where he was looking pretty good. Steve's just leaning on the wall so nonchalant. And I was like, wow, what a bad boy.
Yeah.
But he says, trust me, Arthur, it's not over yet. You still have the power in you. It's just a matter of how you use it. Now go to your kids. They need you. Blah, blah, blah.
Very much the pep talk that Arthur needs.
Yeah.
To fucking risk his life, because he has to time it just right to jump through the blades, because at a certain point
all of them line up at the floor.
And he does it. He makes it. He gets to them, and at the same time, I guess Kalina did set the bombs off.
Yeah, well, the machine's like, I think the machine is
because she was
imploding on itself.
Yeah.
So it's like exploding, and then the house starts exploding because the machine's going haywire.
That's right. Yeah.
Is what it is. And
I love how Maggie was right next to it, and then it's just starts blowing up, and I'm like, wait, is Maggie dead?
Yeah, I thought Maggie died.
I thought so too
in that
moment.
Because it was a big blast. But nope, she's apparently fine.
Yeah.
Somehow hid.
Yeah.
But now the ghosts are free to roam.
Yeah, the ghosts leave. We see Dad and the kids are safe together, holding each other. Their mom shows up and is kind of like giving them like that last like, I love you.
And Dennis checked on them to make sure they were okay, and then left. And then the way that the mom said I love you guys sounded like a drunk person, like, I love you guys.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
I love you guys.
So much. I'll always love you. I love you. Yeah. And then she fades away.
There's just the way that they had her voice, like, to make it spooky sounding.
Yeah.
Spooky ooky, but it was comical to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, she disappears, and then we get basically just this ending of Maggie saying,
I quit.
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit. This was not in the job description. I quit.
And then abruptly the movie just
Credits.
ends. It's just like the end.
And it was like,
so funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a bit like, oh my God, okay, I guess we're done. But
here.
end out with a bang. Yeah, and that is 2001's The 13th Year. I'm just kidding.
13th
Ghosts. And do you have any fun facts for us today?
Trivia
time.
In the movie, the characters needed special glasses to see the ghost. In the original 13 Ghosts, viewers needed special glasses to see the ghost. This is one of the few details that was kept from the original. The effect for the torso was achieved by using a double amputee wearing a special black hood that could be used to digitally remove his head.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. So
everything was pretty real.
Well, yeah, they casted it. Bear Duncanson, or Herbert, I don't know, Duncanson, who plays the Hammer, was not originally hired as an actor for the film, but as a stand-in for reference and test shots. When the original actor cast for the role never showed up, he was given the role of the ghost as the last-minute replacement, and there was no time to hold auditions for a recast. He had a pretty big role in it.
Yeah, he sure did.
Of all the creatures' makeup created for the film, the angry princess, Shauna Lawyer, required the longest time to apply at 5 hours.
It's her whole body.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was everybody's whole body, but it was her naked body, so that's a lot of makeup.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And I wonder if her boobs were
Like
prosthetics or if they
Like,
were her actual boobs.
mm-hmm.
And then many viewers complained that the movie had a lot of strobe lighting and flashy editing, making it physically painful to sit through. Which I didn't really notice that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of movies that we watched with horror movies that like where it's a lot more strobe lighting than that. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
flashing.
It didn't seem that way to me. But
Haters gonna hate.
apparently some people thought it was painful.
Yeah.
Anyways, boo time.
Boo time.
Boo
I
time.
believe. It still kind of held up for me, even though like I hadn't seen it in a really long time. I guess
Yeah.
almost like a rewatch, like a fresh rewatch. And I remember especially like when I was little, like this movie, like the jackal, that moment where the guy got cut in half. I think especially more so the jackal, like kind of scared me a lot when I was younger for some reason. Just his whole face in the cage, or her face, they, them, they might be non-binary, I don't know. And the storyline, it's I mean, there are a few moments now when I was watching it, like it's a bit cheesy, especially in the beginning with the kids and the family, and like some of honestly the daughter's Kathy's acting, I don't like it at all. It's very bad to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little boy sometimes
He annoyed me.
He annoyed me. Yeah, with his lisp and like I don't even know. Sorry if you I mean, okay, it's not just the lisp. It's the way that he talked like he was like 2-year-old. Like Bobby wants an ice cream. Like that. Like I don't know.
He just he wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
Was not my favorite actor. Because we've seen some really good little kid actors.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
he was not one of them.
No, that is
in
very
my
true.
opinion.
He wasn't giving me Haley Joel Osment.
No, not at all.
But other than that, I thought it was really cool. I like all the ghosts. I think visually it's pretty cool. And the set of the house is pretty cool. I think that they did a good job on the visual effects. It didn't seem like a lot of things were too like CGI'd or fake looking. Like everything looked pretty real.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty, I guess, spectacular of them to make it look like that. I don't want to say flawless, but like seamless, like easy. And so yeah, I'd give it probably a good 2.8, close to a 3, just because I feel like it's not like super spectacular. It doesn't blow me away, but it's for sure like a pretty good middle of the road horror movie. It's not like super scary either now to me, I guess. But I feel like if you were to give this to like a preteen or something, like watch this with your kids, like you'll spook them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree, because I remember it being pretty scary to me
when I was
as a kid.
Younger, yeah.
Yeah. But nowadays, it was
nothing scares
not
us.
scary. Yeah.
Just a mortgage payment and taxes and health care and death.
But yeah, I think it was a pretty good film. For the most part, it did hold up pretty well effect wise, which I appreciate. And I think, I mean, kudos to them for doing like practical effects and putting everyone in makeup for 5+ hours every day. Maybe not every day.
Because they could have CGI'd that. We could have got like ghosts that were like looking like the cherubs from A Haunting.
Yeah, The Haunting.
The Haunting, yeah.
That would have been bad. But yeah, they did a good job of making them look pretty scary and spooky, and it's kind of an original concept. Not that, I mean, I know it's a remake now.
Yeah.
But you don't see, I mean, I know we said it reminded us of the Evil Dead with some of the shots and with the incantations and stuff like that, as well as it reminded us of
An Evil Book.
Yeah, an Evil Book, yeah.
But
and
still,
then
but sorry.
Hellraiser and stuff like that too. But it's still the idea of like a house. It's kind of like Smart House, but with demons. The idea of a house like coming to life, being a machine, and being trapped inside of it and stuff with ghosts is pretty. It's like a different spin on a haunted house. Yeah, which I liked. I thought it was a pretty original concept.
It's more cerebral.
Yeah,
it's not just like, oh, we move into a haunted house and we experience hauntingness. Like it's like the thing that brought them there, and then also it being a whole machine, like you said, and it also leading to like the whole kind of like you almost want to learn more about the lore of like, well, this book, and then like the Oculus whatever, and the Eye of the Devil or whatever, all that shit. And then you also too, they make you really want to learn more about these ghosts, like what's their stories. Like I'd watch a like little 30-minute spinoff on each ghost.
Yeah,
How they die,
how they
like
died,
their life,
or how they even got captured in the first place, because the only one we really saw was the Juggernaut, which was the 12th ghost. And so it would have been cool to see how they went about.
Could be a series.
Everything
honestly.
else,
like a limited series.
I'd watch it. So that being said, I think I would give this, I don't know, I'm stuck between a 2.5 and a 3, but I don't want to just steal your answer of 2.8.
Why
Because
not?
I kind of liked it.
It
It was enjoyable. It was nostalgic, I guess, to watch. So it was pretty enjoyable for me to sit there and watch again. And again, it was an easy, digestible hour and a half, which was nice after the past 2 movies that we covered, which are still fantastic.
Yeah.
But so long. And I think I'll give it a 2.5.
Got it.
Yeah. I liked it, but it was pretty middle of the road for me. No,
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2.8 as well. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like,
2.75.
like I don't want to be like, but I feel you. Like it was good. I don't want to say like it was horrible, but like it also wasn't like grand or great. You know what I mean? But it was good. Like it was good.
I'd recommend it to people.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd tell you to watch it, and I don't think you'd be less of a person or out of your luck and time and stuff for having watched it.
Yeah. I watched it. It was enjoyable, and I don't feel like I wasted an hour of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like being like, oh damn, I could have been watching something better than that.
I changed my answer. Yeah, it's a 2.8 for me.
Cute.
Pretty solid movie overall,
And
and the practical effects, were solid,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate. Even if some of them looked a little dated nowadays, like the hammer a little bit did. But maybe it's 'cause that guy wasn't even supposed to be an actor.
Maybe.
'Cause some of his like facial expressions and stuff, I was like, I don't know. But maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's so a 2.8 solid from your BooBaes. 2.8 solid for 2001's The 13th Ghost.
13 Ghosts.
13
right.
Ghosts.
Whenever I was trying to, like, I grew up always thinking the movie was called The 13th Ghost, but it's just 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
And then so I'm like telling Robert, like, it's the 13th Ghost, and he's like, babe, like, there's not a TH in it. And I'm like, yes, there is. I was like fighting him on it. I'm like, it is called the 13th Ghost. And he's like, no, it's 13 Ghosts. And then finally we're like, oh, okay. But I'm like, in the movie, they're never like 13 ghosts. They always keep referencing
as the
13th Ghost.
Ghost, yeah.
So anyways, but
it's you were just remembering the film.
yeah. But as always, you guys, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios in a new building, as we mentioned last time. So we're still kind of getting used to it.
Yeah. Today we're in the video lounge, which is fun.
Yeah. And we're on the 21st floor of the Alico building, so we get a nice view up here. Nice and bright and sunny. Really do, honestly. And just like our podcast and any other podcasts that is through Rogue Media Network, you can find this one and others on their website, which is roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right. And you can listen to us and all those podcasts as well on a slew of podcasting platforms, the biggest 2 being
Spotify.
And also Apple. But wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that is the only way we can get ahead in this world. And tell your friends. Word of mouth is huge. That's a great way for us to gain new listeners. And if you rate and review us and stuff, that's also one of the ways we can get actually ahead and show up on like some lists and stuff of good podcasts to listen to. So if you do listen and you haven't rate and reviewed yet, please go do so. Even if 5's only.
Yeah, 5's only. 5's only, bitches.
5 boos only.
Also,
please.
it's pretty fast. Just rate us, and don't even have to leave like a paragraph of something. You can just be like, love it.
This.
My favorite. Yeah. Love Joshua and Caitlin the most. But
and we'll say, we love you too.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
And you could do that. You could also engage with us. Where can they engage with us, Caitlin?
On our one social media platform, which is Instagram, and that is at
BOOBAES podcast, BooBaes, because we're not your boob. Ooh, I messed that one up. Can I start over?
Yes. On our one social media platform, which is Instagram, and that is at
BOOBAES podcast, because we're your BooBaes, not your BooBabes.
That's right. And until next time, you guys, we don't know what we're covering next, but you'll see.
It'll be a surprise. Yeah.
Yep.
Bye, Baes.
Bye, Baes.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.